If you're watching this video, it implies that you've just watched me perform my most recent song. And when I say most recent, I mean I started writing this song like maybe 2 hours ago. And I went ahead and thought, I can go ahead and just release this. So this sets a record as far as the shortest amount of time between me starting to write a song, finishing a song, and just going ahead and publishing it. I don't imagine I'll ever write a song in less time before I release it. And I actually don't think that I'll ever have a song with less words to it. I mean, this is my journal here that I keep of all of my songs over the years. I mean, it's literally 4 lines. I don't even need to have this in front of me as I go through the lyrics of it. It is tradition that after I release a song here on YouTube, for you to be able to hear, then I go through the inspiration on why I wrote this song, not only the lyrics, but also the music. So I'll go ahead and just share the lyrics here, which is funny because the title of the song is literally 25% of the lyrics of the song. So here we go. My Jill, my treasure still. That's the name of the song. Here's the first line. My Jill, my treasure still. My love, that's how I feel. My heart is made of stone. You heal my broken bones. That's it. That's all the words to this song. So what's the inspiration of this? It's funny because last night I was getting ready to record the song, The Sixth Commandment, which is funny because just hours ago, I recorded that song right over there in the garage. Just hours ago, I did that. And when I got done, that's when I wrote this song. And when I got done writing this song, I went ahead and recorded it. So I've recorded 2 songs in one day, and having written one of those. But last night, as I was preparing the Sixth Commandment, I was getting that song ready to record. I was practicing that. My wife was walking by to get ready for bed, and I just was taking a break, and I just kind of lazily went back and forth between 2 chords, and I thought, as simple as that is, that sounds good, and I think I can make something out of that. And I'm always trying to challenge myself with songs that I write. Like, for example, we can go back to the last couple songs that I've done. The Sixth Commandment, I'm using power chords. It's a very technical song. When we have Three-Legged Dog, lots of lyrics, all right? And the same thing with What About Forgiveness? Even the song Why, even though it was a bit cerebral, still had a lot of words to it. I thought, how simple of a song can I write? So this song has no chorus. It's got that falsetto, but it's got no chorus. And what's funny is, each of the verses is the same exact words. Now granted, what I did to make things dynamic is, if you'll notice, the first time I sing the verse, it's regular baritone, a lower register. The second time I do it, it's a higher register, like a tenor. And then the final time, the final verse, it's falsetto. And the very closing of the song, kind of in the fade out, I say my Jill, but I say it in each of those octaves as well. So if you're not paying attention, you may think that this has 3 separate verses, and you may think that it has more to it than there is. Like a chorus, there is no chorus. So I wanted to challenge myself by writing something so simple. But I also wanted to write something that would challenge me as a man who's been married for nearly 13 years. When you listen to songs on a radio, which I don't, but if you listen to pop radio or country, you're going to hear something of the sort of a guy, trying to sweet talk a girl, trying to get him to fall in love and all that stuff. But what does that look like 13 years later? And when you've been married nearly 13 years, and we've actually been together, 15 years or going on it. So what does that look like? And for me, I thought the less words I can write, the better. I think it's going to carry more meaning the less words I have here. So again, just looking at these words, it's actually helping me to look at them, even though I've got to memorize just to look at them. My Jill, my treasure still. And I struggled. The hardest part about writing this song was the word to describe her. Like, my girl, my wife, my beauty. Words that ultimately are too basic, or I've already used before in other songs. But treasure, I think, is really the best way that I feel like describing her to me But I think treasure has a higher value, not simply a monetary value, but so much deeper of a value when we say treasure. And yes, I rhymed. I thought, how can I rhyme with her name, Jill? What rhymes with Jill? And I thought, still, like, for example, it's still going on after all these years. I still treasure her. My love, talking to her, that's an adjective for her. That's how I feel. I feel that I still treasure her. My heart is made of stone. You heal my broken bones. Now the reason that's very important, and that takes half of the real estate of the lyrics. So the first half is about her, how much I value her. The second half is about me knowing that I'm not, I don't want to say not good enough, but just as a human being, like even aside from her, as a human being, I'm not a person who goes around thinking, oh, I'm a great guy, I'm a good person, I deserve great things. I don't believe that. I don't think that about myself. I'm grateful for what I do have. But I feel that, especially now that I'm past the age of 40, I guess, what, two weeks ago today, I think it's 3 weeks ago. So I'm a very recent 40 here. And the older I get, the more jaded I guess I become. And you can see that with lyrics like the Sixth Commandment. If you haven't heard that song yet, it's a very dark song. It's unsettling. But it's me coming to terms with how the world actually works. And so this was almost like my way of healing from the last song that I wrote, as dark as it was. I wanted something to kind of describe that healing process. And hey, I may seem like a fun guy, and I am, or whatever, but ultimately, like, there's a lot of depth here. There's a lot I'm always sorting out, and I'm largely trying to sort it out through the songs that I write. So I do feel that way. That's not just some kind of thing to make it, oh, here's contrast. I'm this person and she's this, and we balance each other out. Yes, that, but to a much greater degree. My heart is made of stone. Compared to her, compared to most people, it is. My heart is made of stone. You heal my broken bones. So, and I feel that I was doing a little bit of lyrical painting in the song, in that I started out singing in baritone, the lower register, working my way up to a tenor, and then up higher to falsetto. And I do the same exact thing with the non-chorus that exists too, where I'm just doing that falsetto. It starts baritone, works its way up to high register, and then falsetto. So what you're seeing is I do the same thing in the verses as I do the chorus. And I wanted to show something dynamic there, a character arc, passing of time. And that's why one of the reasons I did those 3 different octaves in the 3 verses and the 3 times that I do the chorus. So for me, this is my version of writing a love song for my wife, and not some tacky, sappy thing. Like, what's the most real thing that I can say that describes how I feel about her? And I took about 20 minutes, and this is what came out. And I didn't want to add to it. It didn't need it. I felt that this is an exception to the rule, that a song can actually be 4 very short lines long, and that's as much as it needs to have. My Jill, my treasure still. My love, that's how I feel. My heart is made of stone. You heal my broken bones. And the inspiration to this too, of all things, is I've been listening to Smashing Pumpkins a lot here recently. And it's interesting because they have such a dark sound, yet Billy Corgan, the lead singer, has such a high timbre in his voice. I mean, kind of going between that tenor and falsetto. That's where he hangs out, despite how dark his music is. And when you listen to his softer songs, you'll hear songs like that. And I'm sure yesterday, having listened to a lot of their music, it only makes sense that as I was getting ready for bed, in the back of my mind, that type of song was going on. And that's probably how I was able to write that as quickly as I did. Those 2 little chords there, and turning it into a full song. So I love challenging myself. After the challenge of the 6th commandment, I mentioned in that other video that was a challenge to me. This one was not a challenge. This came very easy for me, and I'm glad it did. But at the same time, it still was a challenge, because how can I take something so small and something so simple and have great meaning to describe the person that I have chosen to spend my life with and grow with and evolve with? And how can I illustrate that in a 3.5-minute song that has 4 lines and ultimately something I'm curious of is people who hear this and will they even realize that I don't even change the lyrics. I just change the way I sing it. Your comments belong right here, along where a link is where you can actually hear that song if you haven't yet.